Hey folks, Sega Sonic fan here, and I'm with my buddy repairing a Magnovox Odyssey 2. Now, for those that don't know, this is probably the most graphically enhanced video game system you'll ever see in your life.
It's got 64 bytes of RAM. It's pretty good.
Yeah! Look at that.
Got,
See, got a handle on the cartridge so you can, carry it with you. I don't even know. Or pull it out with great force and might.
it's so powerful that Atari got a cease and desist against Casey Bunchkin.
There you go. Because that was the Pac-Man clone that he made, right?
Yeah. It's better than the Atari Pac-Man.
So repairing this thing is kind of a nightmare. Let's show the viewers. We have this, whatever the hell this is. This is VHF and RF. So I guess it has VHF coming in and then RF coming out. This is the RF.
No, I think it puts those both out, if I remember right.
Puts them both out. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's totally janky and crazy. But let's do a rundown of what I do understand, because that box.
But you have to hold this in your hand to feel how cheap it is. It's great.
Oh yeah, and it's all yellowing. It looks like my old thermostat.
It feels really good to plug the game cord in right here, and
Oh yeah.
feels like a really secure connection.
So there's a ribbon cable that plugs in here that goes to here. There's the ribbon there. That goes to that keyboard there, which I highly doubt that we need to power this up. It's probably just a parallel interface. And we have a power plug. I've actually rigged up this because it actually is pretty conveniently a 2mm pitch width. So I've rigged this up to my own power plug, so I don't have to connect to that huge case there. And then over here, if we look, we have our video and audio output. Now for composite video, this is capacitor C44, and it's essentially from what I understand, it's like a low gain composite signal, or it's not attenuated properly. It is like 2.5 volts, which is definitely out of spec for composite. So maybe it's its own weird format, who knows? But basically you have you have video, you have 5 volts coming from this resistor, 5 volts, and then you have audio on the far right. And the wire colors, you can actually see it when you open the box for the this video conversion unit. The red wire, if we look down here, is audio. It says there on the PCB. The black wire is video, and the white wire is 5 volts. Now you might be wondering, what's missing? There's something missing. Oh yeah, ground. There's no ground in this 3-pin plug. You need ground. You need video, audio, and ground. Well, turns out the case is ground. And you can see the ground connections here soldered to the board from the case. So I've gone ahead and just soldered a ground wire. Voila. Now this unit boots up to a black screen, which apparently is a common problem. A little more of a rundown of what's going on over here. You have a bridge rectifier, which is 4 diodes that rectify the AC voltage coming in from the jack here. And I believe this is AC voltage. I should double check on that. But because people are saying that you can use a Genesis Model 1 power supply. And yeah, in point of fact, that's not true. You should not use a Genesis 1 model power supply because this is AC voltage, VAC. It is, to be exact, 11.5 volts VAC, as you can see right there. So it's a very specialized power supply that you're not going to find in any other console because it's a totally 70s kind of thing. It takes the for example, by the way, AC, you usually find that in audio equipment. It's very rare for any consumer electronics in the 80s to today. And so you have this bridge rectifier that converts the AC into DC. You have this very large capacitor, which also helps in that process. And then you have a voltage regulator. And then you have your power button over here. So if all of these parts are good, then you will be getting 5 volts at the end of this resistor, which indeed I am. And if you're getting 5 volts there, you might hopefully be getting an oscilloscope reading of a video output, which I will show you my reading right now. If I can get some assistance, I'm going to have you flip this this switch when I say,
Okay.
when I give the word. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my probe for my oscilloscope here, and one of it is on ground. I'm actually going to put it on a slightly better ground, which is this tab over here. There's so much soldering inside this unit, so much hand soldering to grounds. It's very strange. And then I'm going to go over here and touch my probe to the far left of that connector. I'll go over here to my oscilloscope, and now I flip the power. And that's the waveform I get. It's kind of a strange waveform, but then again, it's not really composite. So I don't know if that waveform's correct or not, but at least it's a waveform. You can turn it off now. And the audio, I get absolutely nothing, right? Well, here's what's weird. So it is getting 5 volts. Obviously, it's grounded, and it's getting the video, whatever kind of video signal it is. But when I touch the probe here to the output, I get nada. I get nothing. So the question is this thing broken, or does it need an audio signal, which would be very unlikely? No, it wouldn't need an audio signal. No, I mean, I think this thing just might be broken. I'll go ahead and I'll take some power readings from it real quick, but I think this chip might have died. The only other thing that would explain this is if the video coming out of this is some weird modulation that this doesn't like. But I think even in that case, it would still give me something on the output. This is not a very intelligent circuit. It's not going to have like FETs switching things off and on. People say you can also desocket and resocket these chips if you have issues like this. But yeah, I mean, the actual traces on this thing are so janky. If I zoom in here, you'll see I've reflowed some of them to try to get better connections to the joints. The weak part of any trace is the neck of a joint to where it connects to a via. And all of these, I mean, I've reflowed a lot of them because all of them are just really, really janky. Like they just didn't put enough solder. Didn't make those through-hole vias actually well plated. And this just has to do with the technology that was available at the time. I mean, it's understandable, but it's frustrating that they were cutting costs so much that they didn't want to apply enough solder. Like here's one that I haven't reflowed that gives you an example. I'll go ahead and use my tweezers here to show you. You'll see here the ring of the via, it doesn't look like it's well connected to the actual point of the component. And that'll give you all kinds of problems. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please let me know if you have some tips for me on how to fix this thing. My friend here is ready to unfriend me because I have not repaired this, and it's very sad.
It used to get video output.
See? You see? It used to get video output. This is one of maybe 2 or 3 things I have not successfully repaired in the past 3 or 4 years. So it has become a personal endeavor of mine to get this going. I fix things. I don't break them. Arg. That's it for this video. This is Sega Sonic Fan, signing out.